Good evening. It is May 20th, 2019. This is the Bull Market Watch, and we're going to be checking out the price of Bitcoin. It looks like it's going to go another stage up parabolic. Let's tune in and see what this might mean for the altcoins. An important pause here. You can stop the video to read through the disclaimer to go over the details. This is not trading advice, just a review of the markets and a commentary on it. So this is the Bull Market Watch, and we're going to start off by looking at the price charts for, we have Bitcoin US dollar here, Litecoin US dollar, Ethereum US dollar, and Stellar US dollar. All of them making triangle formations that are topping, that are building into ascending wedge triangles that could go up another big stage from here. And all the way up as they're building these triangles, every time they come near these bottoms, then we are at the risk of having a top formation and a sharp breakdown. So it's really high stakes trading going on here right now. And where is my, here's the GitHub significant trades feed, which is just great fun to watch. Let me put this in our chat and you can follow along with this too. So you can see what's happening with the biggest trades in Bitcoin on BitMEX, OKX, Huboy. I don't actually pronounce these out loud when I read them. And you can see the biggest trades as they're happening. So it's great for the flow. The one of the greatest things, or the most scary things, is to watch the liquidations that go in and out when these markets are really moving. And so let's move into this Bitcoin chart just to make a point of it. As prices were coming up to these areas, people were putting on high leverage long trades. And as prices were coming down here, there was millions of dollars of liquidations, long liquidations going through. People who had put on long trades and kept them and got liquidated because they were just so highly leveraged. A small move like this took them out. Millions of dollars. You could just watch it flow through. So I'm certain that as this consolidates into a real triangle that's going to go somewhere, we're going to see instances like that again where there are liquidations just flowing in the millions of dollars. And I hate to see anybody get liquidated, for sure. That's a real killer. Now, one of the things for this stream is to go over Bitcoin price, see how it relates to the altcoins in general, because they're all moving together. But this is altcoins versus US dollar. This is altcoin versus Bitcoin. So here's Bitcoin against US dollar. Then we have Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar. Good to see you here, Pothead. Are you from Canada? Are you a Canadian, eh? I think I might have asked you that before, because there's quite a lot of potheads in Canada now. It's okay. Everybody can come out of their growing closet and admit that they smoke marijuana. It's okay now. People talk about it all over the place. It's great. So Bitcoin is consolidating, and it could be in the place where it's going to sharply drop down or pump up like crazy just from the major overall chart pattern. And I want to watch what's happening with the altcoins at that same time to see if they are going to pump or are they going to dump. So right now they're holding their own, but you can see on this chart here where I've been marking out where Ethereum has been staging and staging and staging down as pressure has been building. This is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And just earlier we had a bottom on May the 13th, May the 1, 2, 3 bottom, and everything really went up crazy. Now I'm watching for this to see, are we going to have these alts crash down as Bitcoin surges up? And we should be able to tell. We have the data. This is Bitcoin dominance. As Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoin prices versus Bitcoin go down. Then we have this second chart, which is altcoin market cap. We can see that altcoin market cap has enormous volume under it that we have never had before. For me, this is the institutions stepping in. Even though the altcoins are coming down to historical lows against Bitcoin, Their US dollar value is going up. This is being supported with a lot of trade volume. And I like this bottom formation. So this is bullish for me in all of the altcoins. So I'm waiting for the altcoins to be going up along with Bitcoin. It's just to inform you of my bias. Here's another chart, the altcoin market cap / dominance chart. And I just found it. So I'm watching it, but it seems to be the inverse of Bitcoin dominance. So if I go over the 5-year view of Bitcoin dominance, we can see some important points I've marked out in the past when we had altcoin bull markets. Very interesting how this little bit of swing made such a big difference in the altcoins back in those days. And then here's our major bull market that lasted, what was that, 12 weeks? Then the next big market, what lasted about 6 weeks. And now we're watching Bitcoin dominance come to this. Is this an inverse? It really looks like an inverse. Let's go to the 5-year view. It does look inverse. Higher lows, consolidations, big moves at those times. Lower highs, consolidations, big moves at those times. So it does look like an inverse. And we'll watch these two as we zoom in on these points to see what is happening at this very point where it dumped to this point and then rallied. Are we going to dump to this point and then rally? What is the cause of that? How can I measure that? If this one's rallying, then this one must be dumping. If they are inverses, whoops, that's too close. So we're watching for this to drop out of this trend line, Bitcoin dominance. And we're watching for this one. Oh shit, what time frame was that? 120. I don't know. 6 months. 6 months. 3 months. 3 months. I can see that this breaking down from this uptrend line would be significant. We've got that marked out pretty clearly. This one is new to me, and just by eyeballing it, it looks like a bull flag. So prices have been pushed down. This is their capitulation low. This is the spring up and the consolidation. And so now we're looking for confirmation by having this confirm and going up at the same time as Bitcoin dominance slipping down out of this. There's one of my postulations. This is what I'll be watching for on show after show as we're starting up. We'll continue to watch these two indicators, and then we'll see how that plays against all of the charts. And finally, I don't know if I have one open. One second, I got to open up another spreadsheet here. Here we are. This is the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. I have the working copy open down below here, and we'll be going through this here in a second. As this loads up at the speed of light, what we're doing is using our simple trading plan and going through all of the cryptocurrencies on Poloniex. And I use that just because it has a nice limited number of coins, 50 odd coins to go through. And we grade each one of them against a color coding. Finally, we add up all of those color codings at the end, and it'll give us a bull-bear ratio, a bullishness or bearishness ratio that we can use to plot some graphs that are not loading up here. There we go. So at the end of the show, we'll update these graphs, and it'll tell us the bullishness, bearishness ratio. Back to Bitcoin, watching to see if this is a top formation. Ethereum versus US dollar, Stellar versus US dollar, Litecoin versus US dollar. All of them, I'm watching these formations now and continuing watching this where the bottom could be, and all of these. Just going to redraw this one. And this is our continuing alert now to be paying attention to where all of this formation is going compared to the alt versus Bitcoin price. And that seems to be holding out and doing better actually as Bitcoin is pulling back a bit. Ethereum versus Bitcoin is picking up. So this means that this should be dropping. Bitcoin dominance. Our market cap versus dominance should spike up out of this channel, and all of our cryptocurrencies, the altcoins, are going to spring up out of these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations that are just shaping up right now. And so our mission today, should you choose to accept it, go and get a glass of water. Hey, AOL Chandler, good to have you along. Yasin, good to have you here too. I'm going to go through these charts and I'm going to update our May 20th so that we can be tracking exactly the best time to be buying in on these. We have the bottom formations, we have the trading plan. Now it's time to map it out and see it all happen. Here's a couple caveats. The simple trading plan is actually set to work for the 12-hour bars. And so we're looking for 3 things to occur, and this is what you'll get if you go to digitalcurrencytraders.com. If you go to the website in the link below, you can learn more about our crypto signals and alerts package. You can save 80% off the cost of the full book if you would like. Or I recommend that you grab the free chapter from the website. Get the free chapter from the book, because this is the trading plan that we are going through right now. So head over to that website, sign up for that, and don't put it off till later and say later you'll pick it up and say, geez, what a difference that would have made if I would have done that and learned that stuff. It's really simple. It's not simple to do. It takes a lot of patience. So overall, what we're going to look for is a break of this downtrend line, which we don't have yet. We're looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and the cross of the exponential moving average. And none of those things are in place yet. So this wouldn't be set up as an alert. If I was to grade this, I would say that it's a near fail, like it's nearly failing down to brand new lows. It could be the moment of the reversal and turnaround, but for the sake of how we're studying this here, I'm just going to mark it as a near fail for our bullishness, bearishness index. If you want to know more about how our crypto signals and trading alerts work, they are sometimes a little bit more active and earlier than this trading signal is. This trading signal is more like a train going through. You can see it coming a long ways away. You know exactly when it's going to be hitting. And that's what we're doing here, is watching it come and document it as it goes by. So here we are with Atom. It's made a little bit of a bottom formation and looking pretty good here. So I'm going to put this as an alert in our system that it could be going bullish here soon. It's not yet. It's still below these levels. It would have to start like crossing above these levels for this system to call it actually bullish. So we go to the 3-month view and it still doesn't have enough data to give us the 12-hour bar signal. So that's pretty early. Basic attention token is coming down to some pretty important support and resistance levels. And as a swing trader, you might zoom right into this moment and say, hey, this could be the moment of the turnaround. But for our simple trading plan, we are waiting for quite a bit longer for this to bottom out and give us a crossover. It actually stays as a near fail in this because it's almost going down to new lows. I'm going to give it a more bearish index in our measurement here. BCHABC is setting up. You can see here that there are some potential alerts to be getting in on if this is taking off. If it crashes back, there's some potential areas to be entering on it and watching for bottom formations should it come back to these levels. So right now, I would say this would be an alert. Last time we had it as a buy. So I'll put it as an alert that it may be going bullish and into this box. This is not good. Got sold right out and remains a fail for bullishness and bearishness. BNT, Banker Network token, is on its way down, new lows. It's made a 1, 2, potential number 3 point. If it breaks above these levels, that would confirm the 1, 2, 3, and the exponential moving averages might actually cross over. If you're a little bit more risk tolerant, you could zoom in on something like this, but I just can't recommend any kind of action on this market until it breaks the downtrend line and starts to prove that it's turning the other direction, and not just doing a little thing that's going to continue on the downtrend. But there's no turnaround here yet. If you're a mountain climber, there's no place to put your foot here. BitShares, similar chart pattern. So on the 12-hour bars, we instantly can see that it's got a break of the downtrend line. Good. It's starting out to build the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Better. And now we're waiting for it to complete that and have the exponential moving averages cross over. Whoops. Before we can call that a trading signal according to this trading system. Now, if we're zooming in on this and zooming in on this, we could start to see what kind of consolidation is this right at the tip. Because earlier, I love it. This is great. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It broke out above that and off it went. If you had waited for this to come back and retest so that you could buy on strength, you would be now looking at this is the retest. And if it goes above this, this would be the place of buying on strength. So a great example, actually, as we zoom in and start to dissect it. And this is what I hope to empower you guys to do. Because this trading method, I didn't create it. I'm teaching it. I'm really confident in it because it does better than I do. I don't trade my own system as well as my system does. If I look back on the charts, my system's doing better. I'm overriding it at some times and when I shouldn't. And it always costs me money. So this is my practice to get this burned into my neural patterns so that I recognize it and it becomes second nature. But also, I believe in helping other people learn this stuff. It helps me. And if you guys can correct me when I'm wrong, you might save me thousands of dollars. So anyway, here's a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, but I'm going to mark it. Oh, I skipped a few. So Banker Network token was, I got to go back. I forget how to. Banker Network token was neutral. And if it starts to break above these levels, then it would be a buy. Bitcoin is still a hold. It's still bullish. BitShares, we just went over, is neutral because it's in between creating this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Much the same as Banker Network token. They don't have anything to do with each other. Okay, this one's completely canceled. Clams, I'm certain it's going to do it 10 times just because I don't have any. And it's been such a steady climb. You could have just bought any time, just throw the dart and jump in. And it looks like it's building. It's running out of supply. There's nobody's got any. Everybody's forgot about it for the longest time. And I knew that and never stock up any and just hold it. And it looks to me like it's going to just go straight up. And I would never recommend purchasing into something that's already gone up this much. It's not at all the trading system that we're trading, but it was definitely a trading a signal here in our system. It absolutely matched the 1, 2, 3 bottom. We did have a trading signal here, and the trading system got kicked out here and bought back in here as these moving averages crossed on the 12-hour time frame. And so it's still in the trade because it stays in the trade until the 12-hour exponential moving average crossover occurs on the other side of the trade. So we're still holding, we're still watching for that top formation. Looks like it's going to go to the moon, and I couldn't recommend it right now, but, flip a coin. So Clam stays a hold. Actually, let me scroll back here, and I can go to the 2019 bull market watch. Let's scroll over. Where's Clam? Here it is. We've got the column. So we can see where Clam was nearly failing in January. It was in a fail. It was down to brand new lows February, and then it went neutral, went to a near fail, and then for 3 days we had it as an alert because it turned so quickly. February 19th it was a hold. It pulled back a little bit and then went back to full green, and it's been green ever since. So this spreadsheet is phenomenal. And I know that as this spreadsheet unfolds, we're going to have some really great data on when to be taking action on all of these trades, and you could just do the smallest little bit of everything. It's phenomenal. Where's my chart now? Civic Coin, on the 12-hour bar, we can see we have break of the downtrend line. We have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up, but it hasn't crossed over enough to give us a trading signal according to the simple trading plan. The eager will be zooming right in on this and taking a look at this activity and these buying candles going in, saying that this could be where all of that amazing altcoin volume is coming in. When there's a big sell order above the market, the institutions snipe that big sell order and buy it all. So they don't move the market up much, but they get that big spike of volume just as somebody is getting ready, they're put that sell wall above it. They go, snipe, thank you. Or here, we just got a big bite. And should these be institutions taking positions, they're taking up all the supply that the panic seller is getting rid of. Now we're making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and we're at the risk of getting these candles wicking up and pulling back. So you have to have a plan ahead of time that is going to protect you from that. And this is what this 12-hour filter is supposed to do. And it's proven itself to do, is that it keeps you out of these kind of moves that are really exciting at the time, when, especially when you're zoomed into the 15-minute bar, or worse, the 5-minute bar. If you're making decisions based on that, on a downtrend that hasn't made a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, ouch, I've done it. It is expensive. Then you're a bag holder, or you're taking a loss. You've got a smaller bag to be able to put on a trade to make your profits back. And so it's a very difficult thing, and you want to filter that out. You want to calmly let it do its thing. We know it's going to change direction. We can let it kick and buck. We know it's going to have to come around the corner. Let's just give it time. So Civic Coin, now it's still neutral. Yep, it's grooved itself up to neutral because it's in between the 1 and the 2 of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Once it's coming pressing near the number 1, it would be a near fail. If it goes below the number 1, then it's a fail. If it goes above or pressing up to the number 2, we'll call it an alert. If it goes above the number 2, we call it a hold. And there's a lot of other things to go into actually taking a trade and getting your risk control rules correct. So this is not a recommendation to actually buy. It's just a bullishness or bearishness index. Dash didn't do a very nice little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It just blasted off. And this kind of market, I always miss. Until you zoom in, then we can see we got a double bottom. So we could consider that a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It broke above, came back and retested it, and then on strength you could have purchased if you were watching closely as it was breaking above this downtrend line. Too early for this trading system. We're going to step back and we're looking for it now. Now is the best time because it's come up to the support and resistance. If it pulls back and gives us some nice consolidation, it's such a clear place to go in, and we'll have that moving average crossover. So it gives us a little bit more breathing time, and you can take a very small position on the start here. A very small position because we're assuming that we are at the very beginning, and we're at the very beginning of something that's going to be much greater than we've seen in the past. So start off small, be safe, keep your equity. That's your job, is to protect your equity. Start off small on any of these trades. And I'm also coaching myself as I tell you that. Decreed, same thing. It's building up to a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. We can see the exponential moving averages have not crossed over, but it's telling us, like, we can see it coming. We see this bottom formation shaping up. We know to get prepared. We can talk about how we're going to stage into it, how we're going to watch for the add-on signal as it goes up, when we're going to look for the top formations, when we're going to phase out of part of our position, when we're going to phase back into it. And we'll just continue to watch for these formations, but upside down. So this dash is easy to talk about it, then I got to do the chart. Dash, I'm going to say, is a hold. Just because it's above those technical levels, that doesn't mean it's a buy. It doesn't mean you should buy it because this is turned green. Decreed, I'm going to put it as neutral, but it could turn into an alert the next day or so on pressure above these levels. Digibyte is making a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. It's got to mature. That's the 4-hour bar. 12-hour, yeah, you can see 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. These would be great entry places you could be watched for. You could map them all out ahead of time. And if you'd like to get some of your trades mapped out ahead of time, check out the crypto signals and alerts package. You can start a 7-day trial for $1. There I am at my 6-monitor computer that I purchased with Litecoin in 2017, just at the top of the market. It's great. So we go over 250 different cryptocurrency markets in much more detail than we do in this general scan here. And if you're interested in some of the actual history of these alerts, following these very same patterns, we achieved some great results and went all Bitcoin at the very beginning of April. So the system itself really kicked ass. I held on to some of my cryptos, and I'm holding on to some of my cryptos still. Now, essentially, we're going to get you all sorts of training to get you going, not just signals. So we're going to start the training in your favor, and we're going to talk about the risk control rules that we go over a little bit here, but in much greater detail. We're going to give you the bull market backtesting spreadsheets. We go over all of the bull markets from 2017, 2018. New one needs to be updated for the little one we had in 2019. You get a copy of the book included. You get an understanding the cycle, when to take profits. And we have some examples of recent ones where it said to take profits and I overrode that and held mine and didn't take the profits when I should have on some of them. Could have done a lot better with my trading. And we have examples before and after of the system and how the system works. It is phenomenal, fantastic stuff. You get our private Discord chat. You get the 5 months of all of the data that we did from December, January, February, March. All of those trades so that you can tune these alerts to give the most optimized approach for trading, really improving everything that we're doing here. And here's a whole bunch of comments from people who are taking alerts. You get the trade room, which goes into more detail about these specific trades, the exact entries and exits that we look at, more of the details of what people are saying about it. And there's a couple different plans you can choose from. You can start off, if you're doing month by month, take a couple months of training and you may have everything that you need. You can cancel your subscription and you'd be educated and off on your own. If you find it really useful, then the quarterly thing for $49 a month is huge value. And if you're a crypto fanatic and you know it's going to be for a long term, you're doing cryptos, get the pro package, pay in crypto, and you're good for a year. You can access everything for 7 days with a $1 trial. That's because there's so many different things in cryptos. Let's check this out and see if it really works for you. Let's continue on with our scan now. We're only on Dogecoin. And Digibyte is neutral. JC Denton, good to have you along. Dogecoin I'm going to put as neutral as well, just because it's in between that little wee 1, 2, 3 bottom, and I'm expecting this to blast. It always does crazy things. And if we go to the 5-year view of it, I was expecting it earlier, but clear that off. But now that it's back to these historical levels and we're into a big bull market, I think it's going to be taken off. So I definitely have a little bit of Dogecoin salted away. We'll watch what's going on with Dogecoin, but right now it is just neutral. EOS, so that we can continue on with our bullishness, bearishness index. This one is neutral. It's making a little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and I love the technical levels that it's sitting at as it's making this strength. It's still neutral, but it'll be an alert in a couple days, I'm certain. Ethereum Classic we had as an alert last time, and I wouldn't say so. I don't know why I put it as an alert. Now it gets back to neutral because it's in between the 1, 2, and hasn't really defined a number 3 point, and we're still in a downtrend. It hasn't given us a turnaround. So I would, it could be the one, it could take off, but I like that the 12-hour exponential moving average crossover filters out some of the 1, 2, 3 bottoms that turn out to be fake outs anyway. Ethereum, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So there is the difference between this chart here is Ethereum versus US dollar. Ascending wedge triangle building up. Whoops. 4-hour bars. See where our ascending wedge triangle is at these support and resistance levels. Huge. Go to the 1-day view of Ethereum versus US dollar 1-day view, just to get this picture in our mind of this bottom formation and the breakout starting here and where we are likely to go in my mind. Then I want to look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin 1-day charts, and it's very erratic. Very difficult to trade Bitcoin against, to trade Ethereum against Bitcoin. This chart is very difficult to trade it. Hey, dancing in my ear. A new super chat by GBU Professor Wally. If you guys haven't learned from GBU Wally, he's got a system with Gunbot University for trading with bots. So you can set these kind of things up and then just check your trades every day. It's always been on my to-do list, but never gotten done. I'm working on getting my trading alerts, this trading alert package, turned into a botted system so that I can hook up a part of my account to this and I can just pay attention to the alerts and everything else will be taken care of. I don't have to actually trade as well as do the alerts, which would be awesome. ETH US dollar, ETH versus Bitcoin, complete disconnect. And I know that when we do Ripple versus US dollar and Ripple versus Bitcoin, it's a disconnect like this too, where Ripple's had this huge capitulation downtrend and then massive bounce. Pressure down, then bounce, pressure down, then bounce. For me, this looks like a cork being held underwater, and that's only going to last for so long. I was always thinking that Ethereum was under negative selling pressure because of all of the ICOs that gathered Ethereum for their project, and they had to sell their Ethereum competitively against each other in order to fund their project and keep paying for their project. Now that seems to have evened out over the last while, and I think that Ethereum is going to bound up and outpace Bitcoin considerably, percentage-wise. So I am watching for Ethereum versus Bitcoin to really take off. And that's my conspiracy theory. So I got sidetracked on Ethereum just because it's not making the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that we're looking for as a trading signal, but it's making a capitulation low, a capitulation breakout. So the capitulation is that we have the parabolic down move, a parabola. So the slope of each of these down are increasingly steep. And that's how a parabola is drawn, the smaller you get. Then it's done a big bounce up, like grasping a breath of air. Then it's done a consolidation. So I want to zoom in on this consolidation because a breakout of that consolidation is the part of the buy signal. So just back up here to review. We have the break of the downtrend line, check number 1. We have the 1, 2 of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up, but it's a big wide one. Then we have the exponential moving average crossover on the 12-hour time frame. So we're having 2 out of the 3 signals confirmed now. We have the break of the downtrend line and the exponential moving average crossover, but we don't have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout to complete the 3. Now, I don't know if it's going to turn out perfectly, so that's why I'm doing this video and telling you about it so that we can go back in 6 months and say, how did this turn out afterwards? Now that we zoom in on this, I am looking for different technical patterns than the 1, 2, 3 formations. I'm looking for any kind of bull or bear consolidation flag, and then watching to see what prices are doing coming out of that flag. And, you know, you can eyeball these, you can put it in different places, average it. But basically, I'm watching for that to break higher. It seems like, you know, this is release of pressure, and then we're going to get another release of pressure and prices going up. Confirmation for that comes in when we're watching Litecoin and Stellar. And I'm just watching Stellar because I'm trading that one and I'm not trading Ripple. So Ethereum, I'm going to put as an alert. And I had to explain all that stuff just to change that color on our tracking. Now, Factum. Going through the list and seeing how these things fit into our trading plan. I love it. This is great that this candle is going out here. Factum. Wow. Okay, I was expecting more, but let's go to the long-term view. It did fantastic as Bitcoin was coming down, and then it's been on just all the way pulling back and not given the consolidation and the continuation of a trend. What's the deal? Now we're just watching for that consolidation and then watch for what to do next. I wouldn't go short in it. I wouldn't go long in it. I have to wait for something to go on. I'm going to mark it as a near fail just for bearishness, bullishness index. And foam, what are you doing? You were neutral last time. And yeah, kind of neutral, kind of near fail. I'll leave you neutral for generosity's sake. Game was a fail last time because of this massive wick down. I'm going to leave it as a fail. It's got to do something up before I can say that it's not still a fail. Gas has got a double bottom here. There's our downtrend line. It hasn't broken it. And this is on the 4-hour bars. The exponential moving averages haven't crossed over yet. So hey there, Moontime. Sure, let's go check out EGT on KuCoin. I'll use this chart here because I'm still seeing top formation stuff here going on in Bitcoin where we have less on balance volume. KuCoin. Let's go KCS. Just take a look at that. Look at this on balance volume buying going on and this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping out. Now that's what I like to see when I tune into a chart. It's like coming into your favorite song when you turn on a radio. And we're looking for EGT. What's this one I had there? Okay. EGT. Wow, there's some on-balance buying going on there, and I can't even see the chart yet, but look at the volume of buying going on. I can't wait to zoom in and see what's going on. This bottom was really bought up. What was going on here? And by the time anybody else started buying, there's no supply left. Lots of buying going on. Love it. This is the 1-day chart. So if we start zooming in now to see where's our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, we're on the 12-hour bar. It actually did cross here. So we have the exponential moving average crossover. Check. Downtrend line, don't really have one. So as it's going flat and coming above that, we could call that the break of the downtrend line. And a break above this level as we're coming up to it. It's easy to see in hindsight, but that's the only thing that would match this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout pattern. Now that we've come back to this, we could be watching for consolidations. So maybe you could have seen, if you knew this market, you knew the news for certain, this would really help you, because then you'd be confirming to yourself going, oh yeah, look at this buying going on. Look at this buying going on as it pulls back. Now you know that you've got your 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout. Prices have given you the pullback and a consolidation pattern here. We're on the 12-hour. Let's zoom in on this consolidation pattern. 4-hour. So here's our consolidation with big wicks up that are scary to me. Those are always exhaustion wicks when I think that. So then we've got some really good buying volume going in. Yeah, this is looking great. And that it's consolidated to a flat top with all of this buying volume. High five to Moon Time for bringing this up. For the 14 of you who are watching, just give this video a thumbs up and a like, just because you've discovered something that looks like an opportunity. It's matching up to what I would be looking for in a market. Then I would go to CoinMarketCap and start reading up on the project itself. Go to the website, read up on it. Go to their social media to see what their timelines are. Maybe there's some news coming up that everybody is preparing for, because they're going to be launching something that's going to be fantastic. There are so many wonderful projects. This is back to gas right now. Grin on Poloniex. Yes, we're on our way. We're 2 charts away from Grin. Gas, I'm going to put it neutral for our study here. GNT, Gollum Network Token, another one that I've traded, one of the most poorly traded markets I've done, because I read about the project and liked it. And so then you can probably see, without even me marking on it, where I didn't take my sell signal. Held right there. I eventually took some profits on it, but it was actually taking less bad losses. Now, down to the potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So, clean slate all the time. You know, the good thing about the football catcher who's really good, he has a short memory. You never remember the bad catches that you embarrassingly flubbed. You remember the good catches, and you immediately wipe your mind clean of any of the failures and watch it again as a fresh chart, as a fresh 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, new opportunity. Watch for it every time it's coming down to number ones, making the 1, 2, 3, review it, enter small, and plan to be adding on, knowing that we are at the beginning of a very big bull market and you want to preserve your capital. So you want to start off, since Bitcoin dominance is such a questionable thing right now, you want to start off with very small altcoin positions. If you were going to put on $100 of it, you would start off with 20. When this comes up and it's worth $45 and it comes back and it's worth $30, then you would put on the rest of your $80 and you have $15 worth of protection built in, knowing that we're probably going to go to the moon and your $80 is going to turn into $800. But protect that first little bit so that you don't lose it and you don't have $80 or the full $100 to put in. This early part is the most dangerous, the most exciting, could be the best returns of all, and it could keep going down for months. Grin, new coin on the block, and you can see that we had it set as an alert for our alert package, and it tagged us into the alert, and we've already got our stop loss up above our entry so that we are protected in our initial position on this market. And you can see that it was a very little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So when we're on the 12-hour bar, it's still not an entry. If you're trading with the 12-hour bar strategy so that you could watch 10 to 15 markets in 10 to 15 minutes a day. If you're trading with the 12-hour bar strategy, you can watch it in 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. You don't have to be in front of the charts at all. So if you're busy working and you've got a job and you want to do this stuff, this trading method will help you. But you're not going to be jumping into these little wee bottom formations. You just can't pay attention to that time frame. We're gonna take the bigger moves over time, and we'll prove it out. We'll watch it over the months here, and we'll show how it all goes. And if you want to get this data of how it works out over the months, join up. Get this $1 free package. You get all of this training at full access, so you can go through it all. Take this May 19th special report and dig through it. The last 5 months of our trading data. So you get this full trading system. You get the book. You get everything for $1. Study it for a week. Say, okay, I can sign out. And that's fair game. But I think after you go through it all, you'll see it's worth it. Let's jump back in here. Grin, taking off. Now I will leave it as a hold. It is bullish. It doesn't quite fit our trading plan, and I know that as it comes up and pulls back later, I'll probably change. This is an alert. That is a hold. KNC, Kyber Network Token. What happened to HUC? Oh, it got delisted. KNC, beautiful chart. Really, this compression of this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation is great. But on the 12-hour bar, it's not time to get into it because it's in a downtrend and it hasn't given us enough turnaround to prove that it's not going to continue going down. But if you zoom in and you are you're more you're less risk adverse. You like more risk. You're willing to take more risk. You have more time to watch the charts. You could consider a very small entry on this, and should it prove you correct, you would have that cushion underneath you to put on the full trade and really put on the nitro because you're on a straight stretch. But right now, for this trading system, all I can do is say it's neutral. Maybe for this trading system that we're watching, it could be an alert. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. And then it'll turn to an alert and it'll turn to a hold. Once that exponential moving average crosses, I'm getting away with fudging that entry in some of these, aren't I? Okay, this is a near fail still. And this is why I do these, so that I can go back and recognize where I'm fudging my entry data, where am I fudging my exit data, when am I not paying attention to my exit signals as this trend line breaks. As that trend line breaks, it's a 1, 2, 3 top formation, and the exponential moving average on the 4-hour time frame crosses over. When those three things line up, that is a get out signal, at least of part of your position. And you can see that it just down like stairs from that time there on April the 1st. Clear as can be in the charts. So many of these charts at the same time. Now we have April the 1st was a big day. We have May 13th. All of these coins are making 1, 2, 3 bottoms starting on May the 13th, this day that Bitcoin made this top here. So what is going on? Loom would be neutral. LPT actually looks more bearish. I'm going to put this as a near fail. And Lisk was a near fail. It's inside a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, just like so many others. May the 13th, here's our downtrend. It could be the exact moment to buy. This would be a springboard trade entry, which is a lot more risky. But if it's the right time, it's also the very best profit because it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. 1, 2, 3. And inside the number 3 point here, we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So when this breaks above, it's breaking above two different formations at the same time. This is why I like the 1, 2, 3 bottoms. We'll see as time goes along, these 1, 2, 3s will start nesting inside themselves, inside each other. So we'll have a 1, 2, 3, a very tiny little 1, 2, 3 at this bottom here. Then it turns into a little 1, 2, 3. Then prices come up and they come back and retest it. Then they break out of a larger 1, 2, 3. And as they're nesting inside each other, they're giving us these add-on points, just like that Russian doll, where you can stack those dolls inside. As it's coming back and making these stacks, that's where we're looking to add on to our positions. So you got to get that picture in your mind first, and then you can have the patience to wait for these formations to shape up. They take so long. So we got the potential 1, 2, 3. We got to get that exponential moving average crossover. So this goes to neutral. Try that again. Okay. Litecoin had marked as neutral last time. Okay. Still marked as neutral. And now you're probably seeing all this already. You see that, okay, there's the break of the downtrend line, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up, but it hasn't broken out and our exponential moving average hasn't crossed over. So it's shaping up. We can see it coming. It's like that big jumbo jet liner. We see it 2 miles out, a kilometer up in the air. It's on its way. And we're just going to keep tracking it here from day to day so that we have mathematical, objective evidence of, I'll mark this as a fail, objective evidence of the actual time that the bull market really starts. We'll have the 1, 2, 3 bottoms on the 12-hour time frame. We'll have the exponential moving averages crossing over en masse. It's irrefutable. So here again, May 13th, 1, 2, 3 shaping up. Not quite time yet, and I think mana is going to be a great hold in the long term. And it may even be a good idea to buy like a whole bunch of mana right now when it's at the lowest price, and then go to Decentraland and buy land and leave it sit there for a year. Because then by that time, mana, the coin, will have gone up and the real estate inside the game will have gone up in value. You're double dipping. That's off topic though. And this is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up. I like the volume down here, nowhere near our buy signal. So I'll mark it as neutral. It's not a near fail, which is good to know, because if Bitcoin dominance starts to crush us, all of these will turn to fails again. We're up to the nice neutral areas. We're starting to get this little fuzzy bull feeling from the alts. We're having this 1, 2, 3 formations starting to shape up. And that could be gone in no time. Namecoin, I think that's been delisted. NMR, okay, it's down to near fail still. I don't know anything about the project, but the chart's not nice. NXT, look at all that ocean of red here from these next batch of charts. NXT, near fail still. If that, I'm being generous because I like the coin from years ago. OMG is neutral now. It's coming up into some position. We've got that break of the downtrend line, potential 1, 2, 3 starting to shape up. So it's neutral. Omni is still a near fail. And really could be a lot, it could be just fail for, I don't think it's going to, anyway, it's not going to give us a signal for a while. Pascal coin, wow, looks the same as Omni. Terrible. I'm going to actually mark this one as a fail. Don't like it. Poly. Wow, another. These are like 3 charts in a row, back to back, that are so similar. I'm going to mark it as a fail. It could be a near fail. We're splitting hairs there. This one's been delisted. Quantum. Okay, now this is, I'm going to put it as an alert. We have the, I can't put it as an alert. It's not by the 12-hour time frame yet. But I know if we go into the 4-hour time frame, the cross has already occurred. We've got the 1, 2, 3, and it's starting to show strength. Given where it's been and how this is down to a capitulation low, bounce and consolidation, then showing strength, I'm going to move it up to an alert. So this is a fail. This is an alert. Rep. Let's go over rep. I marked this as neutral. Now it goes down to near fail, just to give us a bullishness index. I guess I should mark it as a fail since it's continuing down this trend. And I want to know that, because if it's continuing down the trend and others start to, like tomorrow, we need that data from day to day, really. This one looks like it's been delisted. 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on this tiniest bottom for the Sia coin. So I'll leave this marked as a fail and it might be removed. But Sia coin, I'm going to leave it still as a near fail. It's terrible there. SNT. Zoom in on it. This is the 1-day view. Okay, that makes it look. Here's the 12-hour bar view. Some nice volume coming in there. So neutral, steam. I'm going to put it as a near fail. It could be a neutral if it had a bit of a green candle there, but I'm going to just mark that weakness as it's hinting. See, this one, it's almost the same, but it gets a little bit more of a grade because of that whisper of a green candle, and I'll leave it neutral for now. Then stellar or lumens. This stays in neutral. It bounced back and is staying within this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. So it's not showing which direction where it wants to go yet. Stratus. It's kind of neutral, kind of near fail. I'll put it as near fail and make it work a bit more to get back up to neutral. Viacoin is building some higher lows and a nice consolidation going on here. So it's neutral for now, but it actually will turn into an alert if it starts to give any pressure higher than these bottoms. That would be great. VTC. Near fail. And that's generous. It maybe should be a fail. It's so close. XEM, it really did. Oops, wrong one. XEM did a big bounce. There's the capitulation, no. Up, and this consolidation hasn't shown strength at the tip of it yet. It's staying here. So I'm wondering if Bitcoin shows strength. Are their alts going to get crushed again? I'm looking for that inside these alt movements. So this one stays neutral. Okay, we had it as an alert yesterday, thinking that consolidation would continue and going higher. Now it's not. Whoops, so I'm going to put it as neutral. XMR. Consolidating nicely. Can't give it much of anything except for a neutral, and in the next couple days it could turn into an alert for sure. Let's go on. XPM. Well, I'm going to mark that as a fail. It was a near fail yesterday, but that's enough. Fail. And Ripple, last couple to get our full data here. Ripple did the bounce, consolidated, so it stays neutral. But this is Ripple versus Bitcoin, just like Ethereum versus Bitcoin, a big downtrend here, and now a bounce. So, since this is on May the 13th, I'm waiting to see, are the alts turning around now? Is this another swing notice in the markets that things have shifted? I sure hope so. That would be awesome. This one should be empty. Zcash, same, neutral. So I'm going through and explaining quite a bit of this, but if I go through this on my own, I really look at that chart for just that long, and that's it. There's no trading signal there for me. I've got to wait for it to mature. It's like looking at an apple that's green, and you know it's not going to be ripe for a while. You just quickly look at it and put it down, or don't pick it. So this one stays neutral, and we're just waiting. Neutral. Now, the trick here in the spreadsheet on this page, we're going to see this update. So we've got red for the fails, oranges for the near fails, and we've got red and oranges add together here for our bearishness index. Then we've got yellow for an alert, green for a hold. The yellow and green are added together down here to give us our bullishness index. So we've got the red and orange and the yellow and green added together. The only thing that isn't in this bottom chart is the neutrals. And that's the gray line on this chart, is the neutrals. So now I'm going to go here and copy and paste the formula, and that'll automatically update our charts here. Ta-da! Not much difference. So actually a little bit less bullish, a little bit less bearish, and a little bit less bullish. And less neutral. How did that work out? 12 near fails, 9 fails, 25 neutral. Only 4 are holds and 5 are alerts right now as we go through that and take a look at them all. Only the yellow ones are alerts. There's very few, and there's only a couple that are holds actually. Dash is a new one, and Grin is a new one. So we're starting to get the first of it. Now, an interesting thing, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go back and just take a quick look and see if I can see it visually. No, it doesn't go back far enough. In December, there were some bottom formations and some markets that took off and were green right away. So they should be green through this already. So these are the earliest markets that went bullish way at the beginning of the last bull market. So these may be the ones that give us movement first as we're going into the next, where the green was first. Here, Litecoin, Foam did some, Kyber Network Token, Library Credit did some early. And then we go down into February where it starts to get more prevalent and we can start to see which ones, Dash, EOS, Ethereum, Gas. These were some of the earliest ones. Litecoin still, Rep. We have Steam and Storage, Via and VTC. These are earlier ones. And then if we get down here to more common all the way through, we can start to see which ones were turning into buy signals later. And some of them are turning into buy signals again, where they broke out, pulled back, and then broke out higher. I should have been using the other screen for that part. Let's check Litecoin again. Let's check all of them. Pull this back. So we have Bitcoin on the 5-minute, Ethereum US dollar on the 5-minute. Doesn't that look like an ascending wedge triangle that's just about to go straight up? Might be a leading question. This is also giving us higher lows again and staging right at this great technical level. When I go to the 30-minute bar, it lets us see how important this is that we've come to this consolidation here and poked above it. That's very good. It was a really critical moment as it went down below these levels. So Litecoin, I think US dollar wise, is taking off. Pardon me. Now, Stellar versus US dollar. Day chart. They're all looking like they're taking off versus US dollar right now. All in this major consolidation, all of them ready to go. It looks phenomenal. This looks least phenomenal, but it is a great 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and some serious volume come in this last while in the US dollar value of Stellar. So really from February until now, it really took its time to come back, and all 4 of them look just phenomenal. So if we now look at them versus Bitcoin, so we have Bitcoin versus US dollar, we can see what it's doing. And as it's going, if Litecoin is going to be dumping from here, this is the point. This is coming up against resistance. Litecoin has to go up faster than Bitcoin for this to break through. Litecoin has to go up faster. And that's the 30 minutes. So let's go to the 30-minute here. And you can see where I've been laying out the strata of resistance now for Ethereum. And it's poked above it, pulled back, held strength. So what this is showing is that Ethereum is going up faster than Bitcoin. And I have that theory that it's going to. And we're now watching for it in the charts to actually show it to us. So Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar look like they're going to be going up in US dollar value, but still undetermined if we're going to see them climbing in faster than Bitcoin so that we see this value rising. I want to go into the Bitcoin dominance. What we're watching for here, if you didn't see earlier in the episode, is we're watching for Bitcoin dominance to break down out of this. If Bitcoin dominance breaks down out of that, we will see at the same time altcoin market cap versus dominance break higher out of here. We should see those two things happening at the same time. Just by the consolidation of this being looking like a bull flag, I'm just anticipating with no knowledge of what will come, and this is looking like a bear flag at the same time. Both of these markets are inversely correlated, so this must happen at the same time if it's going to. On the other hand, of course, it could go the other way where Bitcoin dominance starts to go up, and if that's the case, then we should see this actually making a considerable trend downward from here. What do we have here? Altcoin market cap in general. And I keep going back to this one because it's blowing my mind to see the volume coming in here in all of these altcoins. For the market cap, there's a lot of buying going on. And all of our alts are at historical bottoms. We're seeing all of these 1, 2, 3 bottoms, and we're looking to see where we should get in carefully. And when it does go, it's probably going to go really fast, much faster than I may be ready for. And this is the only way to be prepared. Every single day, have your plan and look for it. Watch for it to happen. Watch for it to happen. And so this is what we'll do each day. We'll continue to update this same strategy here so that we're doing just general look at what's going on Poloniex. Where is my Binance window? Binance is a whole different monster. And if you'd like to follow along with what we are talking about in Binance, be sure to come and join our Discord chat. Where is our Discord chat invitation? Become part of our Discord community. Click on that in the link in the description, and we'll say hello, we'll greet you. And then we've got people in there all around the world. So 24 hours a day, we're always talking about whatever move is coming up. Whatever move is coming up. We go through everything on Binance. We go through everything on Poloniex. And many of the guys are subscribers to our crypto trading alert signals. And so we are really digging in deep every day to all of these markets and monitoring them all with really specific entry and exit prices with all of our trading strategies that we're all practicing. So if you're looking for a good steady place to practice a specific system over and over and over and over until you are skilled at it and you are opening up your income potential like the rest of us are working at, come and join us. We would love to have you there. Back to Bitcoin. Let's dig in to the 5-minute bar. Zoom out because we don't have the answer yet. What I like to do is go to Bitstamp, take a look at Bitcoin. So now we have Bitstamp in the foreground and Bitfinex in the background. And you can see that as we zoom in and out, there's still a divergence between the two markets. It's not that significant now. And I don't get it, but it comes and goes. So I'm paying attention to it, just observing it. And then, of course, after the answer comes to us and we all become millionaires or we get raked over the coals, one way or another, we'll get the news of what happens eventually, and we can go back and make sense of it. Now, we're still making a potential top formation. So the reason I'm here looking at this chart is so that I can look at the RSI underneath it and look for some divergences. Looking at the 1 hour bar, it's not jumping out at me as a strong divergence one way or another. And what I'm saying is that we've got higher lows here, we've got higher lows here, we've got lower highs here, we've got lower highs here, pretty much the same here and pretty much the same there. Not much of a divergence, like nothing is standing out as being different than the other, and that's what I'm looking for out of this. In the 4 hour time frame, now we're getting some perspective where we can see some divergence going on here from these highs. So let's pay attention to what's going on with that on the 4-hour time frame. That divergence is still there on the 12-hour time frame. And on the 1-day time frame, it's a little bit different now. It's giving a different perspective where what I'm starting to see is the continual uptrend of the RSI along this bull phase. And then the highs, they're just showing that it's in a bull phase. We're in the super overbought. Then we go to the 5-year view. Let's clear that off. And I want to reflect on that we had about an 18-month, we had about an 18-month upward trend of the RSI. If I go to logarithmic view so we can see where this bottom formation was and how we went up through this bull run. The RSI stayed in this uptrend, up and back for quite a long time. And in our current market, the RSI has gone up, but it hasn't come back to give us that uptrend yet. So it's sometime soon it's got to come back and give us something like this. We've got to have some breath in the market. It can't just breathe all the way in. It's got to breathe in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So I'm watching for the top is what I'm looking for here. Okay, back to log view. Next chart, I want to go to clear this off. Bring up my favorites, Bitstamp, US dollar. Now we're looking at the unbalanced volume. With the unbalanced volume, I'm looking to see where the good volume is compared to the peaks. And I don't know if this is a strong enough indicator to make a trading decision on, but I add it to the other ones. So we're looking at the 1 hour and it's giving us a divergence. The other one at the 1 hour, the RSI at the 1 hour wasn't. On the 4-hour time frame, that little bit of a divergence doesn't stand out quite as strong, but it's still there where we have stronger buying here than here, not as strong. And so with the RSI divergence and the unbalanced volume not as strong, that's also top formation-ish, which would support the Bitcoin dominance dropping out of this channel and the altcoin market cap / dominance ratio taking off out of this one. If Bitcoin pulls back, this is supporting all of that going on right now just by looking at this. Let's go to the 1-year view. Still okay, we have pretty good volume and pretty good volume for the second high up. So it's then just on this last little bit of this double head here, do we have that same divergence where it just doesn't have the volume on that second wave up. So that is bearish. It continues to look bearish just in the short term. Let's go to the 5-year and compare this. This is where I love it because we're just barely starting to see volume come in now. Let's go take a look at the price for Matic in just a second. What this gives me the idea is that even though we might have had that little wee bit of a bearish divergence right at the very tip of this weekly chart thing here, we haven't seen the real volume come in yet. So I, may be a little bit zoomed into the market to be paying attention to that divergence that we have in the unbalanced volume. We'll have to see. If this continues to grow and beats these levels, we know that it's certainly going to be taking off. And that kind of unbalanced volume will happen when the prices are breaking higher. We'll see it. And then we'll know that this is a continuation of the parabolic move upward. And it'll be insane. We'll zoom out and take a look at that in a second. Then we'll go over and take a look at Matic. I want to finish this up so that we're looking at these 3 indicators. I want to track what's going on the 4-hour time frame here of the MACD indicator. It's also giving us a divergence. We had the crossover way up here and then the crossover at the right time. We have a bit of a crossover again. If I open this up so that we can see it. Got to have that green cross back over and have this histogram go positive if Bitcoin prices are going to go up. And that just went a little bit more weak just as we're watching right now. on the 4-hour time frame. Let's take a look at the longer time frame. 12-hour. Also a crossover and looking weak. It hasn't turned back to positive yet. It must. If it's going to break higher, this absolutely must. And you could like leave this open on one monitor and just watch it. When that crosses over and goes up, it's going to coordinate with the on-balance volume being stronger and this breaking higher. Those things will coordinate. Or this histogram is going to get deeper. This is going to start coming down. We're going to see this top formation breaks. Let's go zoom out. This is also looking like it's running out of steam. It hasn't completely run out, but we're getting a top formation here, and this could cross. The histogram has been losing power all the way along here. So should that cross, that is an additional bear signal on the daily. Look at that. Only on the weekly do we continue to see a strong bullish and a stronger histogram all the way along here. Still elongating, still gaining momentum. So many things are saying pull back, or at least not gone bull yet. These would have to cross over and change from their bearish stance right now, should this be going up. So there's a snapshot of those three indicators. And Matic, not a tradable coin actually for me. And really it looks like it's consolidating to go higher. And if you want to gamble on it, it could be something that's going higher. But for me, I wouldn't jump into it. Just on the 5-minute bars, it's really crazy to do any kind of technical analysis. 3 days, so in the 15-minute bars, we're still seeing weakening RSI. BTC, let's go down to Matic. On balance volume looks good. 15-minute bars not looking so good, where we have the volume coming in here, but we don't have it here, even though we're coming up to the same highs. And so that looks like it's running out of steam on those two indicators. Let's go over to BTC, Binance, scroll, Matic. Whew, crazy. Zoom into the 15-minute bars. Okay, we've already had our crossover, but it's recrossing positive here. This is the kind of thing that it can do for certain. And should that cross to positive, can I do this? Yes. Should that cross the positive and we have the histograms go into the positive zone, crossover, and the histograms positive, then we could be at the beginning of something continuing to go up from here. But for now, Matic is giving me 2 out of the 3 indicators to say not right now, just because of this. And it would be complete. These 2 out of the 3 indicators would be wrong if it's breaking higher, right? Buy on strength. It is an ascending wedge triangle in a series of ascending wedge triangles. Oh, you can see here that we had those marked out the other day. Zoom back, and here's the ascending wedge triangle and the move higher, and now we're having another little ascending wedge triangle. So not a signal I would be buying into myself. I missed out on it. I would look at this and I would go back and I would be looking for other markets that are making ascending wedge triangles like this that haven't gone yet. Those are the ones that I want to get into. I want to see them at the bottom of a downtrend line, making the 1, 2, 3 bottom, consolidating, exponential moving averages crossing over. And this one I would just opt out of right now. I would take profits on it, actually. There's Bitcoin topping out in the background at the same time. I love having the chart set up like this so that I can watch Bitcoin. Couple fire trucks coming down the road behind me. There's a great question. Wait for those guys to go. Oh, look at this. What time frame? 5-minute bars. So AWL Chandra was just asking, according to the 1-2-3 trading plan, then all three indicators should say a yes. The 1-2-3 trading plan doesn't do anything with the indicators. The simple trading plan looks for the break of the downtrend line, the 1-2-3 bottom formation, and the exponential moving average crossover to verify. That's it. And then I found that I was jumping into trades that were fake out breakouts. And I really had to study all of my trades to say, why was this one a fake out breakout and this one not? And I, collected the data over a long period of time. And part of that is repeated in this study down here, where we did 5 months of all of the trading data and went through all of these reports to determine the difference between one trading entry strategy and the other, to see which one was better and why it was better. To average them out over 180 different trades, you really start to get some detailed perspective on it. And so as I was going through all this stuff, I was having some trades that were working and some that were not. It was a 1-2-3 bottom formation that looked great but turned out to be crap. And I started to open up the trading these indicators after the fact, and I was able to say things like, oh, let's look at this. Let me find one. My apologies with the sound. I'll try to start again. I was looking for an example talking about, according to the 1-2-3 trading plan, AOL Chanda asked, are all three indicators supposed to say yes? And in a quick recap, the simple trading plan, if I go to now a market that I can do something with, the simple trading plan gives us three rules: the break of the downtrend line, the 1-2-3 bottom formation, and then the exponential moving average crossover on the 12-hour time frame. Just those three things. And as I was trading, sometimes I would get a 1-2-3 bottom that turned out fantastic and it made some great profit. Then there were some other 1-2-3 bottoms that looked fantastic and I got into them and they didn't make any profit. They turned out to be failed 1-2-3 bottoms, and they were just fake out breakouts that I jumped onto, and then I'm holding the bag afterwards or taking a loss. And I started to wonder, what's the difference between this 1-2-3 bottom formation and that 1-2-3 bottom formation? So of course, I've done this big study of all of the 184 trades in our alerts package from December, January, February, March, and closed them all in April. And we have the data of which of the trades worked best, and we have data on when they failed. So here's an example of a fail that I started to look underneath the chart patterns. I have the chart pattern, I have the downtrend line break, I have the 1-2-3 bottom formation. We have a really good example of it here, where the prices were making a beautiful bowl formation. We have it looks like the trend is going to continue and we're going to go to the moon. We've got Bitcoin taking off in the background. Altcoins are going up with Bitcoin. It's looking fantastic, and it's right at the end of March. So we all know what happens next after the end of March. But I didn't, maybe I was anticipating higher prices here. We've got higher lows. We've got these big pre-pump candles, lots of volume coming in. It just looks fantastic. But look at the divergence in the RSI compared to these tops. And it's just one thing, but it's showing that there's some weakness under here that the price pattern isn't verifying. It isn't telling us. It's about to come and we don't know it. But with these indicators, we get that inside look. And so by doing these over and over with all sorts of different charts through all sorts of different patterns, now we're proving these things. We have examples. We have all sorts of examples in our alerts package that you can go through in the spreadsheet and learn from, so that you can tune this to make the best results for yourself, for your own trading. You can take these examples and we'll be more prepared for them when in the future all of this starts to play out. We have these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations take off. We are eventually going to get into the trend where the alts are going to go up and they're going to stage back, and then they're going to go up again and they're going to stage back and they're going to go up again in another wave. So this is what all of this is preparing for, so that we're knowing when that wave begins and how to tell when it ends, so that we're taking off our positions. Even though it looked like it's going to go to the moon, we have to override our bullishness and our wanting and go with the trading plan. That's what this is for, is to get so specific about it that there can be no mistake. And I give you my trading plan. You can go to the website and download it for free. Did I miss addressing Bart? Is Bart showing up? Where's Bart? I don't see Bart. Let me zoom into the small time frame. Maybe we have some little Barts here. I don't see a Bart, but what I do see is the 1, 2, 3 top formation right at these critical levels again. And this is classic for the ascending wedge triangle. Whoops, too far away. 1 month view. If we do have the ascending wedge triangle and it's going to be the continuation, every time it comes to these edges, it's a nail biter. Every time it's coming to one of these trend line, potential trend line breaks. Then we can zoom in and watch to see, is it confirming this top formation? Underneath this top formation, let's go and look at the indicators. There's our RSI divergence. It's not showing a bullish divergence, except maybe this last little tip here. And that's the kind of stuff I like to document in these streams. And then later, you just get more confident in calling them and taking a short position here, or closing off and taking profits on a position here that's coming off of these positions. So right there on the monthly. Oh, mega upside down Bart. I don't know what shape Bart's nose is. So we got the upside down Bart for sure. Let's go back into our 4, zoom into the 1 minute view, and it's rejecting that low again. Rejecting the low on the 1 month view, the 1 minute view, bouncing up off of there. That's fantastic. Really great to see. Zoom this back. Let's go and see what's going on with Ethereum in the 1 minute view, Stellar and Litecoin in the 1 minute view. A little bit too close. But generally, we're still seeing strength coming into these at some incredibly important consolidation of these triangles. For me, it just seems like we're going to go to the moon from here, but it's also a point of the uptrending triangle that should it break below that, we're going down and retesting, and could be remaking these bottom formations deeper and bigger, which is all good and it'll all work out in the long term. But this is an ascending wedge triangle, watching for it to bounce off higher. And then through the day and through the evening, we'll be updating stuff on our Discord chat of how this Bitcoin dominance goes and how does our altcoin market cap versus the dominance turn out. This will be interesting to see how this is playing out as Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin are all playing out what's next. Top formations and ascending wedge triangles at the same time. So you've got to be prepared on both sides of this for easing off on your position and taking some of your profits, or easing into a short position. And we talk about the different ways of easing into a trade so that you're more risk adverse, protecting yourself more on these volatile markets. Crazy stuff sometimes. So I appreciate you guys being out here. I think I'll wrap it up here for today. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to do the 24 hours of Bitcoin live stream on the other channel, and we'll dig in specifically on Bitcoin. What are we doing with those indicators? And keep tracking those from day to day as this is unfolding as a top formation, or is it blasting off as a takeoff on the parabolic move higher? And I want to know that, because all of these coins are going to be coming to top formations and having the chance to go on parabolic moves. If Bitcoin is going to make it to the $250,000 level or the $1 million level, it absolutely has to have $1,000 days coming up. $1,000 where it just goes up for the day $1,000. So that means it's going to probably have moves where it comes down $1,000 in a day too. And I want to track those formations so that as that's happening, we're prepared for the big moves in the future. Great to have you guys along again. Thanks for joining in. Let's all get rich together. Cheers for now. We'll tune in next time for more of these episodes.